This is my concealer drawer. I do have my powders back over here where my hand is, but we're just gonna be focusing on the concealers. The powders, I think I'll do when I'm doing like my primer and setting spray. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna do powders too because we're in the same drawer. Why wouldn't I? Here are my concealers. I'll start with these. I have these three sitting off to the side here. So first one I have is the Glossier Stretch Concealer. I'm going to keep this. I do enjoy it. I want to play around with it and kind of get to know it a little bit better, but I think my first impressions of this so far is that it's a pretty decent concealer, especially if you're kind of looking for a little bit more of a natural concealer. Alright, next up I have this Kevyn Aucoin. This is this Sensual Skin Enhancer. So I'm actually going to go ahead and declutter this. I bought this a really long time ago, to be honest, and I just like never really ever reach for it. It's a little bit of a thicker, more full coverage type of formula, and like you really don't need very much of it. And yeah, it's kind of smelling a little off. Just feel like I never really reach for it. So I'm gonna go ahead and declutter this. Next up, I have the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea concealer. This is literally has maybe like 2 or 3 uses left, so I'm gonna keep it and finish it off, but this has been hanging on for so long, but I think it's finally getting to the point where I'm gonna be calling it an empty soon, so I'm gonna keep that. Next up, I have the Nabla Close Up Concealer. This one, I don't know yet if I like it or not. I'm still kind of trying to form my opinions on it. I'm gonna go ahead and keep this just to continue to kind of figure out what I think about it. Okay, I do have these 3 ColourPop concealers, the no filter concealers. These are all really old and they're starting to like separate and stuff, and I just never reach for them, so I'm gonna go ahead and declutter these guys. I have this BH Cosmetics Total Coverage Concealer in white. I'm gonna keep this. This is kind of helpful because I do have some concealers that are too dark for me, because a lot of brands will not make concealers light enough for me to use as like a kind of highlighting type concealer or an under eye concealer, which is really frustrating. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and keep that. Let's see, I have this Pacifica, what is this called? Their Dream Lit Illuminating Under Eye Brightener. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and declutter this. I never reach for it ever, so yeah. So next up I have this Milani Retouch and Erase Lightening Concealer. Sorry, I was trying to read that. I remember, I haven't used this in a while, but I do remember really liking it, so I'm gonna go ahead and hold on to this. I don't love that it has a little poof applicator, but other than that, I remember it being a nice concealer, so. So I have this Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Full Coverage Concealer. So I don't know if you guys can tell this, but this has not been opened yet. It still has the wrapping on it. So I don't know. I think I'm gonna go ahead and declutter this and just, I can, you know, give it away. It's never been opened. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like I am not super interested in trying this out anymore because I think my preferences have sort of changed in terms of what I like in a concealer, so I'm going to go ahead and declutter this. Okay, so I have these Naked concealers, and I'm gonna go ahead and I don't know, I remember really liking these, but they are like older and they're like separating, and I just feel like I have other ones to try out right now that I should probably get some use out of, so no. I think I'm gonna go ahead and declutter these guys as well. I have this Becca Aqua Luminous Perfecting Concealer, and I actually really like the formula of this guy, but the problem is that it's a little too dark for me to use on my natural skin tone. I think I'm gonna go ahead and keep this, but let me smell it. Ooh, no, we're not keeping that. yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and declutter this. I think it's expired. I just smelled it and it smells really nasty. Oh, next up I have the Born This Way multi-use sculpting concealer. I actually really like this concealer so far, so I will be keeping this. So next up I have this Sephora Bright Future Gel Serum concealer. I'm gonna go ahead and declutter this because it's not cruelty free. I do remember liking it, but yeah, I just want to get it out of my collection since it's not cruelty free. So I also have the Born This Way Naturally Radiant Concealer. I'm going to keep this. So far, I feel like it might be a little too thick. Like, I don't know. And I know that people tend to not love this one, but they do love the other one. I'm going to go ahead and keep it though and just continue to play around with it. I think I originally bought this one first, thinking that it was the same as the other one. Like, I didn't know that there were two different Born This Way concealers. So that was confusing, but I'm going to go ahead and keep this and just see how I'm liking it. I don't think it's my favorite and it might end up getting decluttered later, but for now I'm going to go ahead and keep it. Next up we have the infamous Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. I'm going to go ahead and declutter this. I don't like this concealer at all. I think it's way overhyped, and yeah, I'm going to go ahead and declutter this. And then I also have the Tarte Creaseless Concealer. I actually haven't used this yet, so I don't know if I like it or not, but I'm hoping it'll be a lot better than a lot of other concealers that I've tried, so I'm excited to try this one out. Last but not least, I have this Kosas concealer. This is brand new to my collection. I literally just used it for the first time today. What is this even called? So the packaging on this doesn't actually say what this concealer is. I totally forget what it's called, but I think they only have the one concealer. So this is too dark for me, and I did get the lightest shade. Wait, no, I didn't. I got the second lightest shade, which is probably dumb, but I think the other one was cool toned. So I'm gonna have to mix this with a different concealer, and so far I'm not liking it, but we will see. I'm hoping with the right kind of combo I can really get this to work for me, and I hope that I like it, because again, everything else that I've tried from Kosas I've really liked. So I'm keeping 9 concealers and decluttering 12 concealers. So let me put these in here. So these are the declutters. These are the ones that I'm keeping. So I decluttered over half. That's pretty tight. I like that. Okay, I'm gonna take this out. All right, y'all, we've got powders to talk about next. I'm just gonna go ahead and do these powders because they are in the same drawer. So since we're already set up here with my lights and everything, we're just gonna go for it. Cool. Let me get this one out of the way. So this one is the Maybelline Fit Me powder, and as you can already tell, I'm almost done with this, so I'm just gonna go ahead and get it used up. I just feel like at this point I might as well stick it out and just finish this. I've been working on it for, you know, a good long time, and I think at this point it just deserves to get finished off. So I have 2 Charlotte Tilbury powders. These are the Airbrush Flawless Finish powders. Oh god, I don't want to break a nail. There we go. This is the shade 2. I'm going to go ahead and keep this. I think it's good for me to have like a slightly darker powder for when I am self-tanning, but I actually, I think I bought this to do my friend's makeup with for her wedding, and I figured I would just, because I bought this one at the same time, so I just got both just so I could set her makeup. I'm gonna keep both of these. This one has like a nice dip going. I think, ooh, yeah, you can see that really nice on camera. So I'm gonna keep this. I do like this powder. I actually prefer a loose powder over a pressed powder, but I do like this powder. Next up, I have the IT Bye Bye Pores pressed powder. I have hit pan on it. I actually used to love this powder until I realized that it gives a white cast in photos. I have no idea why. It's not like an HD powder, and it's, I don't know what it has in it that makes it do that, but for that reason I stopped using it on my entire face, and my progress on it has been very slow. ever since because I've only used it to set my eyes, and not even every time, or not my eyes, my under eyes. And also I don't use it every time that I do my makeup. I only use it every once in a while. I'm actually gonna go ahead and declutter this because I feel like it's not the best powder to set my under eyes with. It's not like terrible, but it's not like the best. It really is nice for pores, but because it gives that white flashback in photos, I just feel like I don't want to rely on this. So I know that it would be easy for me to continue to work on this and get it used up since I already have pan in it, but I would rather work on a powder that I like much better, so I am going to declutter this. Next up, I have this guy from Laura Mercier. This is their Candle Glow Sheer Perfecting Powder. Oh dear, okay. This was in my whole collection project pan last year for a little bit, until I decided to start focusing on the Maybelline Fit Me powder. I'm gonna go ahead and declutter this. I don't think that I would ever be able to use it up completely. It reminds me a little bit of the Hourglass powders, but I like the Hourglass ones more. And this is not cruelty free, so I'm gonna go ahead and declutter this guy. Speaking of Hourglass, this is one of their ambient lighting powders. This is in the shade Dim Light. If I could go back in time and pick up Diffused Light, that's what I would have gotten instead. This one's like a little too dark for me to like use as like a setting powder. I still like it, so I'm going to keep it and continue to try and get some good use out of it for maybe when I'm like self-tanning or something like that. I don't know. I have the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Powder Under Eye and Face Setting Powder. I'll see if the camera will focus on it. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and keep this. I've actually never used it yet. It's been sitting in my drawer as I tried to pan other powders, and yeah, I'm hoping with less powders to focus on, I'll be able to give this a try and see how I like it. I've heard some really good things about this. I have my Becca Hydra Mist setting powder. This is the one that's like cooling to the touch. I'm gonna go ahead and keep this. I still have a good amount left of it. So I think I should probably pan this soon. I don't know if it'll still perform the same, but I'm guessing that the cooling part is gone because I've heard people say that it like goes away really quickly. But I was obsessed with this when I first got it, and then I kind of like moved on to other things and forgot about this. It kind of got buried in this drawer, and I just never really reach for it again. But now that I will have less powders, I'm hoping I can potentially focus on finishing this up if it's still performing well. Okay, I have this guy from Jaclyn Hill. This is the Luminous powder. That's something that did bug me about this launch, is that the names that she called everything are not on the packaging. So she had this named something else, but all it says is the Luminous powder on the sticker. It's in the shade Doomy, but it's supposed to be like the one where you can use it to set your face, but it's like supposed to be really dewy. I think it was her attempt to dupe the Lancome Absolute powder or whatever it's called. I've never actually tried that out, so I don't know if she was able to dupe it well or not, but yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and keep this. I haven't actually tried it yet. I've been a little scared to try it because I've heard people say it's like really, really dewy. So I don't know, I'm just a little nervous, but I'm really excited to try it because I think it could look really, really beautiful on the skin. So this is the Hourglass Veil Translucent Setting Powder. So I've been trying to use this a lot recently and test it out, and because I've heard like really, really great things about it. I don't know how I feel about it yet. I think that I like it, but I think it really depends on how I apply it. I applied it with the new like beauty blender like powder puff thing, and it looked horrible on my skin, and I think it was because of that rather than the actual powder, because I applied this with a fluffy brush today and I think it looked much better. So I'm still playing around with this, but I am going to keep it because I think I think I'm gonna like it once I kind of like find the right way that I like to apply it. So next up, I have the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder. So this is a finishing powder. It's not even a setting powder. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and declutter this. I have opened it, but I don't know if I've necessarily ever used it. I think I bought this like a really long time ago when it was on sale, because I was like, oh, it's on sale, I might as well try it out, and then I just like never really reached for it. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and declutter this. So next I have a little tiny sample of the Cover FX Loose setting powder. This is called the Perfect Setting Powder. I just got this to try it out and see if I like it, because I've heard some really good things about this powder. So yep. Alright, so these are the last of my powders. These are 4 separate Laura Mercier loose translucent setting powders. This one right here is actually the glow version. I do like this powder, but I'm gonna go ahead and declutter all of these. They're not cruelty free. I'm never gonna get through them all. This one's like a full size, this one's like a pretty decent deluxe sample size, or like a mini size, and then this is a sample size up here, and then again the glow one. I don't know, I really think this is a pretty decent powder, but I need to move on. I need to declutter these. I'm saying goodbye right now. I'm left with 9 powders. We've got 4 pressed powders and 5 loose powders, and one of them is a sample. So technically more like 8. Here are the ones I am going to be decluttering. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I have 7 powders that we will be getting rid of. Almost half. I feel like that's pretty good, pretty decent. I'm excited to have these out of my collection now. I feel like I can combine this drawer actually with my foundation drawer. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and definitely make sure, again, to give this video a thumbs up if you want to see more declutters from me. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know if you've got any thoughts about any of the products that you saw in this video. If you let me know, did I declutter your favorite foundation or your favorite concealer or something? So yeah, I will see you all later. Bye!